here's a couple more things that we have done over the years, events, crazy things that have benefited us and increase our community. And of course, my favorite thing is to try to make them into any kind of a PR event too. A few years ago, we were buying a new fermenter. You go out to our brewery, you'll see lots of fermenters, and we expand by just adding fermenters on. And up to that point, all of our fermenters had been named after patron saints of brewers. You have to have a serial number on your fermenters. Rather than putting 1, 2, 3, 4, we named them after patron saints of brewers. St. Arnold, by the way, is the most widely recognized patron saint of brewers. There's more patron saints of brewing than I think anything else. Beer and religion have a wonderful history together, but I won't go there. Anyway, I came up with the idea of what if we auctioned off the naming rights to our tank. You know, craft breweries have a lot in common with nonprofits. You know, any business that you go into because you love it sort of screws up the whole profit scheme on it. So we put the naming rights up on eBay. You know, I was hoping to get a couple $100 out of this, and the first time we did it, we sold the naming rights for $1,000. And what does the person get? Their name up on the tank. So St. Gonzo went up. That worked so well, we just decided to do it again. The next time we did it, we raised $4,000. And we did it a third time and also raised $4,000. But here's one of the really cool things about it. The press loved this. They came out and they wrote, I can't tell you how many stories we got written on our doing this. But not only did we get one story, the people who came out and wrote the first story, they then, when the auction closed, did a follow-up story on it. So it was like it's like we got the bonus story. Every year for St. Patrick's Day, we have a big St. Patrick's Day party. We put some Imperial Stout in a bourbon barrel right about this time of year. Let it age. It gets really yummy. You have to be careful though, it's about 10% alcohol. The first year we did it, I had about 3 pints of it by the time the party was about to start. I was hugging everybody, and I'm not a hugging person. I quit drinking at that point quickly, but for that night anyway. But we started doing a Donegal beard growing competition, kind of that chin strap, Abe Lincoln, leprechaun kind of beard. And what you have to do to be in it is you have to be clean shaven on January 1st, and then we do a beard judging at the St. Patrick's Day party. And this is a very camera-friendly event. People, not only do they grow the beard, but they get dressed up for it, and they paint the beard. They do all sorts of crazy things. And we parade everybody across the stage, and we have some local celebrity judges that come out and judge it. And it's really been a lot of fun. We give out the prize that we give people would be something like a Wii or an iPhone, something that people really want but wouldn't necessarily go buy for themselves. That's worked really well. We also do the Beer Olympics at our anniversary party now, where people have to roll kegs through an obstacle course. They've had to dig in a big tub of spent grain, which gets pretty nasty, for little beer caps. We lift people up 20 feet up in the air, and one team member has to pour old spoiled beer down into a pitcher that's on the head of a person down below. Again, the press loves this stuff. Kind of the nastier it is, the more they love it. We also team up with a lot of community organizations. We donate to well over 100 nonprofits throughout Houston every year. And something else that's important is I personally reply to every email that people send to our General Brewery address. The final part of our story is that we have now outgrown our original brewery after 15 years. I was hoping to get about 15,000 barrels a year out of our original brewery. This year we're going to do about 26,000 barrels. It's packed in pretty tight. Especially you'll find that for anybody who goes out on the tour tomorrow. We found a 100-year-old building right north of downtown, very central, which is again part of what we're after, being part of the community. Didn't want to be out on the outskirts of town, even though that would have been cheaper and a whole lot easier. We got an old brew house from a brewery in Bavaria that was in a monastery, which is kind of perfect. But to do all this, we needed to raise some extra money. I thought that we were, figured I could probably do it on my own, but it was going to be really tight. So I decided to bring in some outside investors. And I used our newsletter, sent out a teaser, just kind of made an offhand comment about we might be raising some additional equity. It was not an invitation to invest. Had to be very careful to follow all securities laws. Having been a former investment banker, I couldn't get by claiming ignorance. And immediately about 50 people sent me a note saying, hey, they'd like to invest. So I harvested all those addresses, waited about 6 months, and then I sent a note out to them saying, hey, if you're interested now that you've communicated interest in me in investing, I can send you a note. I've got a connection with you, and would you like a prospectus? Word spread among people, and quickly I had well over 100 people who wanted to invest. And I was hoping to raise about $500,000, and I was trying to do it in about 2 weeks. And my law firm that I had review the prospectus told me that I was smoking dope. Do you understand how hard it is to raise money? So I was hoping to raise about $500,000. Ended up raising $1.5 million. And I had to cut it off because we were hitting some of the caps. Actually went out about 6 months ago and raised another $500,000. I was trying to just get the people who we had to cut off a year earlier in. And interestingly, a lot of our existing investors wanted to increase their investment. So I mean, it was pretty powerful when you can raise $2 million, especially when the stock market's in the crapper. Our grand opening is going to be actually this coming week. So it kind of concludes sort of our whole, what I've been working on for the last 3 years in building this new place. With our new location, we hope to be a part of Houston's community for years to come. And I get to do what I really love, brew beer. So just kind of summing up quickly the things that I think helped me, helped St. Arnold get where we are today. Using the brewery as a marketing tool. Nothing is more powerful than getting people to your building, letting you touch it. They know who you are. They now feel like they own part of your brewery. Of course, also having our brewery right on I-10 with our name on it, it's like having a giant billboard. PR, I can't express how valuable PR is. It gets you out in front of the public. You get wonderful articles on you. It's free. And, again, except I have to pay Dan, damn it, every month. But, I mean, the value you get for it is unequaled. And also gets you in front of a story. When something's out there that you'd like, an article on beer comes out, I'm going to get included in it. Focusing on the community. Beer is about community. We're very involved in the community. That reflects well on us, and it's something that I really like to do. Using the internet and social media as a cheap and effective marketing tool, it's amazing how much you can communicate to people. That it used to be that you had your means of communication were very expensive. Now they're not. And finally, I think what's important is I have a passion for what I do. And when you're passionate about something, that comes across to people. There's an authenticity that you can't make up for with any form of communication. And also, if you're passionate for it, you're probably going to work harder, which means you're probably going to do better. Thank you.